Welcome to Washington Hospital Today, dedicated to informing residents about healthcare topics and issues. Through programs featuring community forums and free health and wellness classes, our goal is to empower community members with the information needed to make informed health decisions. Washington Hospital has been providing healthcare to the residents of the Washington Township Healthcare District for the past 60 years.
Hello, welcome to today's presentation, Self-Care and Self-Compassion, Keys to Well-Being, presented by Wajeeha Khan, licensed marriage and family therapist with Washington Township Medical Foundation. Wajeeha earned a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology and an MS in Community Counseling from California State University, East Bay. Wajeeha has a passion for leading empathetic community care. She has provided community educational podcasts, interviews, and radio talks about mental health and coping techniques. Please welcome Wajeeha Khan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today to talk about self-care and self-compassion. My name is Wajeeha Khan, and I'm a licensed marriage family therapist at Washington Township Medical Foundation. I appreciate the time and that you took out during your busy schedule and to be here. And I hope this presentation will be beneficial for all of you. The agenda will be as follows. Firstly, I will introduce myself. I will then begin the presentation with some definitions, coping tools, and ideas for all of you to add to your coping tool belt. And then we will have some time for a few questions and answers. So once again, my name is Wajeeha. I was born in New York. My father worked for IBM in Poughkeepsie, New York, and we relocated to the Bay Area, South San Jose, in 1978. I recall, my mom, my dad, my little brother jumping into a huge Cadillac, Eldorado to be exact, and drove from East Coast to the West Coast. It was a 10-day journey, and we stopped in different states and visiting different friends and family members, and finally arriving in California. I've been a Bay Area girl ever since. And I'm 53. I have two sons, ages 22 and 19, and my elderly parents live with me. Mom is 79, dad is 84, and both have medical concerns. And I'm helping them with that. And I'm blessed to be helping them. This topic of self-care and self-compassion is very, very important to me. And as I am doing my best to care for myself, my parents, and supporting my college students, I know that if I don't pay attention and focus on my health, mental and physical health, I'll be unable to, support my family. So today, I'm not only teaching all of you, but I'm also going to be practicing what I preach, because it's also a reminder for myself. So what is self-care? Self-care, we hear this term often, and what does it exactly mean? Well, it's self-explanatory. Self-care means caring for yourself. Sounds easy to understand. However, the term is sometimes not understood. It's not accepted, and it's always implemented in our daily routines. First of all, the word caring means different things to different people. How you care for yourself may mean different to another. So let's define what does it mean. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, NIMH, self-care means taking the time to do things that help you live well and improve both your physical and mental health. Another definition is from the website Global Self-Care Federation, and this is their definition of self-care. Self-care is the practice of individuals looking after their own health using the knowledge and information available to them. It is a decision-making process that empowers individuals to look after their own health efficiently and conveniently, in collaboration with health and social care professionals as needed. Why is self-care and self-compassion important? Well, first of all, it reduces and or eliminates anxiety and depression. It reduces stress. It improves your concentration. It minimizes frustration and anger. It increases happiness, and it improves your energy, and more. Having routines helps in conjunction with therapy, possible medication management, and a supportive social circle. There are negative impacts of self-neglect. What does that mean? Well, when you neglect caring for yourself, you are devaluing yourself and literally destroying your physical and mental health. This neglect would negatively impact your professional and personal lives in many, many ways. So before we get to that point, and we don't want to get to that point, it is crucial to apply preventative maintenance and care for yourself, just like we would floss and to prevent getting cavities. So to sustain good mental and physical health, it's important to take a look at self-care. Some people may think that self-care is selfish. In many different cultures, self-care is seen as self-indulging and maybe avoiding family responsibilities or lacking priorities. In some cultures, it is the mother or the father of the household to ensure that all are taken care of first, before taking the time to look into the mirror to see what oneself needs. In all honesty, sometimes individuals don't even have the time to look in the mirror, as it is considered wasting time. It's not productive enough. I gotta take care of other members. But self-care is not selfish. According to a post from Restorative Counseling in Chicago, being selfish means there's a desire to take from others, often to their own detriment. However, self-care is about replenishing your resources without depleting someone else's. Self-care is a means of restoring your own energy, which promotes healthy physical and emotional well-being. In doing this for yourself, you are modeling a healthy behavior for those around you. What is emotional intelligence? What does that have to do with self-care? Just to show you a quick explanation, this diagram taken from the internet describes how self-awareness is the first step to acknowledge your feelings. So you may recognize your own needs to then be able to focus on others. So caring for yourself and recognizing your own needs helps with focusing on empathy for others, as well as creating an inspiration to motivate others to care for themselves as well. It all goes hand in hand. So delving more deep into this topic of emotional intelligence is good for another seminar, but I wanted to introduce this term for you as it relates to self-care. So in this slide, we have 6 areas of self-care. So how do we take control of our self-care? And this slide illustrates 6 different areas. It's taken from the internet from a website called Best Self Company. So the 6 areas of self-care are physical, psychological, professional, personal, spiritual, and emotional. So for the physical areas, for example, they state 7 to 8 hours of sleep, taking a walk, you can ride your bike, do yoga. And for psychological ways of caring for yourself, you can track your thoughts, write in a journal, join a community, tracking your mood on a regular basis, decluttering, your space around you. And emotional ways are taking deep breaths, positive affirmations, laughing out loud, exploring gratitude, as well as spiritual ways to care for yourself. You can meditate, can forgive yourself, spend time in nature, and write out your values. Personal ways to take care of yourself. Well, treat yourself. Treat yourself means different things to different people. Treating yourself with an amazing cup of coffee, that's, a treat, or a nice dinner, or buying something for yourself. Listening to music. Unplugging from technology. Set short and long-term goals. Then in your professional setting, self-care, taking your breaks, reading a book, eating lunch and nourishing yourself on a regular basis, eating a healthy diet, accomplishments that you achieve, maybe keeping track of that to remind yourself that you have the capability and the potential. And the consistent breaks is very important, so I'm just emphasizing that as well. That is one way to care for yourself in the professional setting. So there are many, many ideas out there on the web on how to care for yourself, just different suggestions and recommendations. Getting plenty of sleep, enjoying sunshine. Nowadays we don't see too much of it, but when you do, just go out there and grab some. Cooking, getting new recipes, writing, you can sketch, draw, for those who are artistically inclined, cuddling cats. And so there's just so many ideas. Getting a hug and giving hugs. Talking to people. Now, what does that mean? Select people, kind of like, it says talk to select people, and I wanted to emphasize what that means. It means people who will uplift your spirit and help you become more positive, that display good energy, supportive energy. Talk to them. So, in closing, I wanted to say that there are many resources for self-care on the internet. Support groups, books that you can read. You can go onto YouTube and type self-care and ideas for self-care. You'll find a lot. There are podcasts and articles as well. But the one thing or person that will really help you is you, and you realizing the value of self-care and self-compassion. So only you can initiate that change. Only you can care for yourself the way that makes you feel better. And it also helps to get support from a therapist to sort out those sorts of ideas and to get onto a plan and achieve those goals. I highly recommend therapy to place way on top of the self-care list. And I thank you. It has just been a pleasure, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Wajeeha, for that important presentation. We do have a few questions that I'd like to ask. Our first question is, I am busy taking care of my family from 7 a.m. until bedtime. What type of self-care can you recommend for me?
Yes, and that's a challenge for lots of people, in the rat race in Silicon Valley. I think it's about planning. It's about asking other members of the family to help out. I think that would be a very good idea, especially, just with, for example, meal planning. It could be a joint effort rather than one family member taking on the entire responsibility, and just really looking at which areas others can also support you in. It would really be a nice family conversation to have.
Thank you for your insights. I have one other question here. I feel overwhelmed at work. How can I find time for myself?
Yes, and this is a good question because we feel the 8 hours or 8.5 hours is just all about work, but we are valued by our entitlement for breaks and lunch breaks, and so what you do during those break times are very important and crucial. So if it means going for a brisk walk, calling up a friend, meditating for 5 minutes, It's really important to have a list of different ideas of what you can do during your break time and lunchtime, because those ideas are going to help you and replenish you throughout the day so you don't feel really burnt out.
Thank you so much, Wajeeha, for this insightful presentation. This concludes our program. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. The entire broadcast of today's presentation will be available on our Facebook page and YouTube.